Hey Bats, and welcome to another Backrooms entity video. I loved doing the last ones, and I'm excited to do this one. So, without further ado, I'll get into it, but I do want to remind you that I have a Backrooms 1 through 5 sort of entity video. And, well, while there's a sort of, I do have entity number 1 officially, and that would be humans. But they're not the topic of this video. This is for Wanderer help once again. I'm no longer angry at humans, at least for the time being. So, entity number 6 are dullers. They're class 4, meaning they're aggressive, and they're in many levels. Dullers are timid but deadly creatures generally found in the lower levels of the backrooms. They appear dark gray and humanoid, but lack several prominent features, such as faces or ears. Behaviors. If a duller notices a wanderer or another entity, they will silently run away. Be aware that these entities are hostile. The entity hunts by waiting patiently in a space inside of or behind a wall. Once a victim approaches, the duller will no-clip its arm through the wall and grab the prey on the other side, then drag them through the wall. They appear to prey primarily on wanderers possessing questionable sanity. It is unknown what they do to captured prey, as dullers have rarely been observed hunting, and by design, potential observers are unable to access dullers once they capture the victim. That would be pretty logical, yeah. If you're stuck in a wall, you can't really report much. Anyway, no remains of victims have been found. Dullers will sometimes take seemingly random objects. The purpose of this behavior is unknown. Maybe they just like to party. They also seem to strongly dislike almond water, as wanderers report that dullers seem to avoid almond water fountains and almond water products. It's canon that they all have a allergy to nuts. I guess that would have to be tested by other nuts though, but almonds, big yikes for them. Biology. Tall, gray, humanoid, frail skeletal structure with no facial features. They have long arms that can extend very far distances. Reminds me of the freaking clumps. And their stance is very wobbly. And their walking motion is unnatural. These entities are surprisingly strong for how their body structure looks. They can, however, run at extreme speeds, even while holding items twice their own weight. Yeah, dullers, they are dangerous. I've run into several. I try to avoid them, and they avoid me. They haven't made a grab for me yet, but I'm not going to roll that out, so we're going to try to not get caught by them. Alrighty, entity number 7. Jerry, class 1. He's not aggressive, but can cause damage. He is in individual levels. He can appear anywhere in the backrooms because he's special. Anyway, I'll get into that. Jerry is a small bird that looks like a parrot. It controls the mind of a person holding it, making it say things. For example, Jerry is everything. Jerry is what I live for. All hail Jerry. Those controlled by Jerry go missing shortly afterward. They may go to Jerry's room, but that place is unconfirmed. Well, to humans it's unconfirmed. Anyway, the parrot eventually reappears on a seemingly random level to find a new host. If you see a bird that resembles Jerry, escape by any means possible. It's rumored that giving Jerry sunflower seeds or almond water will tame Jerry, allowing you to pick him up safely. This will only work with a person who fed Jerry, however, and anyone else who holds Jerry will be affected normally. This, however, is not confirmed. It's speculation. Again, for humans anyway. I don't feel like I need to explain myself on that one. But he is a very good conversationalist, I'll say that. He knows a lot of classic literature. Very pleasant to talk to. Anyway, Hounds. Entity number 8. They are a class 4 aggressive. They are in many levels, but most notably, the Hive. Description. The name Hound comes from the dog-like nature of these entities, crawling on all fours and mauling anyone that provokes them. They are very, very dangerous and become agitated when they see someone in a hostile state, but can be intimidated. Behaviors. Hounds become hostile the moment they see a human. However, they will be intimidated and momentarily stalled when you stare them down. If you hear a hound's growling, it is best to stay out of sight and get out of the way until you hear it fade. They're nasty. Very nasty. Biology. Hounds are humanoid entities with long black hair growing on their heads. They have sharp claws and extremely large mouths lined with knife-like teeth typically hidden by their hair. As mentioned, they walk on all fours and have a surprising amount of power when they attack a target despite appearing sickly and skinny. Hounds hatch from eggs that originate from the hive. It's imperative to a wanderer's survival that they avoid getting bitten at all costs, as their saliva contains disease, dubbed the hound virus, that will infect and turn them into a hound as well. The incubation period is 20 to 25 minutes before symptoms begin to appear. Symptoms are as follows: discoloration and rash around the bite area, rabies-like symptoms, which are difficulty swallowing, foaming at the mouth, etc., lightheadedness, mild to intense muscle spasms, which can also lead to cramps, increased aggression, stomach cramps, vomiting, and slight rashes. It is very creepy seeing a human go through the hound process. I do not recommend watching it. Approximately 20 to 30 minutes after symptoms appear, the infected's body will reconstruct to match that of a hound. The process is visibly and auditorily excruciating, as normal human teeth and nails are painfully pushed out and replaced by fangs and claws. Hey, that's how some vampires are made, from a certain universe I visit. Anyway, a once bipedal organism is forced into being a quadruped. Amidst the transformation, rapid hair growth will occur on the body. Afterwards, they will enter a feral or hostile state, completing the transformation. If one is bitten, it's best to either isolate as far away from as possible or outright kill the afflicted, as there is currently no known cure for the hound virus. It's been theorized that rabies vaccines can be utilized in creating one. Unfortunately, I don't think even if you're cured of the hound virus, you'll ever be the same, because if you go through that partial transformation, or even able to be brought back from full, you are forever modified, unless it reverses that. But I'm assuming your DNA going through that many changes will cause a lot of issues. Entity number 9, Facelings. So there's a lot of info here on their files, so they will definitely need their own video, but I will cover the basics here for now. There are different breeds though, from what I read. They are at class 2, meaning they're provocable, and they can go up to class 5, dangerous. You'll see why. They are in many levels. Facelings are a general term for faceless people that roam in the backrooms. There are multiple types, each with varying levels of hostility. They are one of the most populous entities in the backrooms, and likely one of the first entities you will encounter. The most common two forms are adult facelings and child facelings, although more have since been discovered. Adult facelings are friendly and do not act with hostility unless provoked. They typically have the appearance of standard adult humans, with smooth skin replacing their entire face. They can appear as male, female, and they can also appear completely androgynous. Child facelings are mischievous and hostile. They often appear in groups of 2 to 3 and will torment and attempt to kill survivors they encounter. They are almost always female and brandish small, sharp objects. These are typically small pieces of sharp metal or sharp knives. I've been chased by a pack of them with scissors before, and let me tell you, it's not fun. They're terrifying, and they make the most crazy of noises, despite, the lack of faces. Anyway, child facelings only appear friendly to wanderers under the age of 16. That said, seeing one will not always endanger you. They will sometimes just try to scare survivors or even pull humorous pranks on them. They will become polite to wanderers in level 283. However, they will attack when touched or if you're rude to them. If someone successfully comforts them, they will fall asleep or become distracted. If a child faceling is attacked, adult facelings will try to protect them and begin to act hostile toward the wanderer. It should be noted, in level 11, facelings will act almost identical to humans, with the small difference that they cannot speak. I mean, it makes sense given they have no mouths. There is even a report of one having a relationship with a human. MEG research team is still studying this effect. Yeah, I've seen that before, actually multiple times. It's, not talked about much, but it's possible, certainly. Incidents and quotes. I merely asked if it was a chicken, then it attacked. I mean, if I was called a chicken, I would attack too. And not in the fun way. Raging from neutral to hostile, you just can't know their hostility. Yeah, I mean, with expressionless things, you kind of can't. It's a gamble. Body language is your best friend in that case. And then, finally, one was chasing me and I repeatedly stabbed it with a wooden knife from, was it level primal or level 5678? Anyway, it looked dead to me. Yeah, it's best to avoid killing entities that are not hostile. Granted, if it's chasing you, I suppose that's fair. Kinda can't fault you for that one. Alrighty, Entity 10, Skinstealers, Class 5, Dangerous. They're also creepy as hell. So, they are in many levels, but most notably 1 to 4. Entity 10, more commonly known as Skinstealers, are large humanoid entities that can wear the skin of their victims as a disguise. They eat human flesh when in a hunger state, otherwise roam if they do not need to eat. Their blood is translucent, and they can mimic human speech. They are most commonly found on the first 4 levels, but have been reported in others. Behaviors. Skinstealers are typically docile creatures and will wander when they do not need to feed. In this stage, they will not be hostile unless you aggravate them. In a hunger state, they will seek out humans wandering alone and will then use their strength to tear them apart with their hands. Absolutely terrifying, but cool. Biology. Skinstealers are tall, pale, and yellow humanoids with sunken white eyes. Their outer layer of flesh is covered with microscopic bumps similar to the suckers of an octopus's tentacle. They stick to skin that is torn off of humans, and push and pull on it to make it fit until the Skinstealer looks identical to a human. These bumps also pump blood and nutrients into the skin to make it feel warm and alive, as well as prevent decomposition. In addition, it heals the skin, hiding any cuts that may identify a real human. After a period of around 24 hours, the skin will be digested through the surface of the Skinstealer, and the Skinstealer will enter a docile state. A Skinstealer can also speak, but it can't understand our language. It will repeat what it hears, often in varying languages, to lure in its prey, but it typically can't communicate. Although, since a typical Skinstealer rarely uses their voice, this is not a good way to tell them apart from real humans. The blood of a Skinstealer is completely translucent, so a good way to identify a Skinstealer from a normal person is by their blood. Blood runs red, they're not dead. Blood runs clear, get out of there. Now, when their blood runs golden, you're in for a real treat. Avoid Skinstealers, they're not nice. They are not very intelligent, they kind of just run on instinct, and to boot, they're very creepy. I've been chased by one before and managed to dismember it completely, but it did manage to leave me a little bit wounded. They are very strong. They're not something to joke around with, so be safe out there, Wanderers, and hope you have a wonderful night or day wherever it is. Try not to get too lost in those back rooms, and if you like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe for more of it, and I will see you again sometime soon. Bye!